Astra is without a doubt the best controller in the game. The only agent that you can swap out and still have similar impact is Viper, and that's really only because Viper is just better on maps like Icebox and Breeze. Even with this knowledge, Astra can still be overwhelming for new players to the game and players in lower ranks. Her pick rate is probably the most drastic between low and high ranks than any other agent. According to Blitz, Astra's pick rate for this act for Radiant players is number 3, coming in at 9.5% pick rate. At the other end of the spectrum, she comes in dead last for pick rate with a percentage of about 2 from every rank below silver. Why is this? I believe one of the reasons for this is that unlike other agents, you have way more to think about, and the idea of having too many choices may deter players from picking her over someone simple like Omen or Brimstone. That being said, let's go over 5 things you're doing wrong as Astra. Hopefully by the end of this video, you will feel way more comfortable taking this agent into your rank games. I'm Chill, and let's get into it. The first and maybe most important thing I see Astra players do wrong is decision making. Where do I smoke? How many orbs should I place at the beginning of the round? Should I save all of my orbs and use them reactively? You can see how someone new to Astra may be a bit overwhelmed here. To keep things simple, I would suggest having default stars that you place in the same spot every round. On defense, this may mean placing 2 stars at your site and 1 on another area of the map. This leaves you with 2 in reserve that you can use on the fly. More often than not, you can use a setup that looks like this. 1 star to smoke the main choke point, the other right in front of it to use as a gravity well. This is a very standard way to play Astra on defense. If you smoke something off, you almost always want to place a gravity well right in front of the smoke. On the other side of the coin, you can use those other couple of stars reactively. You'll want to keep a close eye on your minimap for any enemy sightings and then use that info to smoke the areas that the enemy may be attempting to push. If you have teammates that remember to turn their mics on, tell them to call for that smoke. On attack, the basic idea is that you want to smoke the normal areas of sight that you're taking and gravity well or concuss cubbies or common areas that the enemies typically play on defense. For example, behind the C site box. The idea here is to clear areas of sight to support your teammates on entry. Always keep at least 1 star in reserve to gravity well the bomb and pull diffusers off spike. If you have 2 stars, you can gravity well on the first defuse attempt and then concuss on the second. Just keep in mind that the concuss does not disrupt the defuse, but it does allow you to peek a potentially concussed enemy. You will find that Astra is actually easier to play than you think once you understand these basics. Decision-making skills improve with experience, so don't be afraid to try different things and keep the enemy guessing. Another more minor issue I see with Astra players is staying in your Astral Form too long. Some of the reasons this may happen is because you are either waiting for the right time to place your stars, you're taking too long to make a decision on where to use your stars, or you're trying to place and activate your stars all while in Astral Form. Now there are advantages and disadvantages when activating your stars in Astral Form, and if you want to learn more about that, check out this video in the top right corner. The basic idea is that you want to place your stars as quickly and accurately as possible. To improve on this, think about where you want to place your stars before going into Astral Form. This way you can quickly activate Astral Form, place your stars, and get out while keeping up with your teammates. When you stay in your Astral Form for too long, you can get easily flanked or get hit by a damage dealing ability. Communication may be the main reason why lower ranked players don't like using Astra. In a lot of cases, the lower the rank, the less you may hear comms from your teammates, while at Immortal Plus ranks, communication is more common. This is mostly due to the competitiveness of these ranks and the separation of casual and hardcore players. Letting your teammates know when you're going to smoke, when you're going to gravity well, or if you're going to recall a star can all help tremendously, and it may truly be the difference between winning and losing a round. Even if your teammates are silent, you can still feed them information and support with your stars. So don't be afraid to get a little bit vocal. You can even be your team's IGL or in-game leader and make decisions if you're comfortable enough in that role. A team with a sense of direction and instruction is sometimes all it takes to turn the tide of a game. The next one I see more often than you think, and that is using your ult or wall in a bad spot. This could mean walling off too much of sight when attacking, walling too far off sight, or walling to the enemy team's advantage. On attack, your wall should put your teammates in a position to take sight while eliminating as many angles as possible for your enemy to peek you. On defense, a good time to use your ult would be in a post-plant situation. Let's say you're playing defense on Haven A site. The attackers plant default and your team prepares to retake. A good wall would be cutting off sewers and A long. The enemies on the other side of the wall will not hear the defuse sound and will be forced to use utility on the bomb or peek through. Having a teammate play parallel to the wall is a great way to take out attackers attempting this. Just remember, on attack, split sight with your wall to entry and cut off areas away from sight for defensive retakes. Finally, we'll talk a little bit about Gravity Well versus Nova Pulse. Both of these abilities have their uses, but if you're an Astra player, you know which is better. Gravity Well should almost always be the default ability. This is because it has more uses than Nova Pulse. With Gravity Well, you can displace enemies, it has a continuous and longer lasting effect, it makes enemies vulnerable, and it can be used as a guaranteed defuse disruptor. Nova Pulse, on the other hand, concusses enemies, and that's about it. My rule of thumb for these two abilities is always use Gravity Well unless it's on cooldown. The two best times to use Nova Pulse are if an enemy is trapped in a cubby or as your second attempt to delay a defuse. Other than that, Gravity Well all day, every day, until Astra is inevitably nerfed. Alright guys, that about sums up 5 things you may be doing wrong as Astra. Hit that good looking sub button, drop a like, let me know in the comments all the things your teammates are doing wrong, and have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.